And now the next case.
All parties on Hill versus Griffin. Step forward, please.
27-year-old singer Robert Hill is suing his girlfriend's friend, 36-year-old professional driver Janet Griffin, for sending a computer virus to him, destroying his computer. Janet says she didn't know it was dangerous.
Mr. Hill, this case has to do with your computer.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to learn something today about computer viruses, because I know nothing about computer viruses. So you're going to explain to me how Miss Griffin's conduct impacted on your computer. According to what I've read here, you were dating your girlfriend.
Yes.
You didn't really know each other.
No.
I gather from these papers that you and your girlfriend had a little bit of a falling out or something?
Yes, Your Honor.
And during that time, you claim that Miss Griffin sent you what you believe to be an email that contained a virus.
Indeed.
Now, Miss Griffin,
Yes, ma'am.
you don't deny that you sent this email.
No.
And you say, however, that it was just a joke.
Yes, ma'am, it was.
All right. So that's what the case is about. You're going to tell me first about this email virus and whether I can catch it. And then you're going to tell me what kind of damages you had. All right?
Well, Your Honor, after Denise and I had a little bit of a tiff, a little bit of an argument, she had confided in her friend Janet for a little advice or whatever it would be. And next thing I know, I get this message coming directly from Janet, from her computer system, that it was an attachment to open up. It appeared
What do you mean an attachment to open up? You have to understand something.
Okay.
I know nothing about computers.
Well,
I know that an email you plug in and you take a little mouse and it says you got mail or
Right.
something. So explain
Right.
that to me.
Basically, the email is something that someone can send you pictures, programs, whatever they want to send you over the internet. And I'm sure we've all heard of viruses.
Do you understand what a virus is?
Yes, I do, Judge.
It's basically not any different than any of the viruses that we can catch. It can do a number of things. It can give us anything from a common cold all the way to putting us in the grave, basically.
But this is a machine.
This is a machine, right? If you think of the computer as being part of your life, and in my case it is, it's a huge part of my life because of my music, because all of the information that I have for all of my promotional things, all programs, all of my music that I've written since I can remember. I've been in the music business all of my life, been in the advertising business. All of this was saved on my computer. The virus that was sent to me from Janet basically sucked everything out of my computer. It appeared to suck everything out of my computer.
Well, the word was appeared.
That's right. The word has appeared at this point. Whether it was a real virus or not was impossible to tell.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Both his and his girlfriend's insistent that I needed to get on the internet and start sending funny email to everybody. When I got a joke, I was supposed to pass it along.
Miss Griffin, I don't buy it.
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Robert Hill is suing his girlfriend's friend, Janet Griffin, for sending a computer virus to him, destroying his computer. Janet says she didn't know it was dangerous.
Let's go back a little bit. You put on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting there starting to do work, and then you say, I'm going to see if I've got mail.
Right.
And that's what you did. You said, do I have mail? And you got a piece of mail from Miss Griffin. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what did you do when it says you've got mail?
I read it, and
And what did it say?
it said, he, very funny, and then it said, you had this one coming. And so there's an attachment that was there, which is
What's an attachment?
An attachment is a program. It could be either photos, jokes, anything, music, anything that you can process
Okay,
off
but
of
it's not
it.
really an attachment that you can hold and hold on to.
Right.
It's on the machine.
You click it onto the machine, and it does any number of different things.
Okay, and what was the attachment? What did the attachment say?
The attachment was a program which executed and appeared to take all of my personal files. It would be just like a file cabinet with all the information saved for years, catching fire, and that's it, it's gone. That's basically what this file appeared to do.
You thought that it was going to delete everything. So what did you do?
After that, I started calling people to ask them what I should do. Immediately they said, make sure the system's off. Don't start the system again.
After conversation with people, what you did was you turned your whole system down.
I turned it down.
For how long?
It ended up being more than a week. I had it off because I had to back up everything. I had to go through the entire system. It cost me a week's worth of time. It cost me money for all of the programs, for all of the different things. I've got receipts for the amounts of any of the antivirus programs, the CDs, CD writers, backing up the system.
How much were all those bills?
Basically, everything was, in my total, $641.33.
Can I just take a look at those, please? Did there come a time when you found out that this was a joke?
At this point, Your Honor, I've been told by Janet herself that this was a joke.
Okay. Yes.
Basically, I sent this joke out to approximately 5-6 people. I've had people off the street asking me to send it to them. I've had people email me asking me to send it. The program in
Just a second. So
question...
you had people asking you to send that, and did you?
Yes, I have.
He didn't ask you to send it,
No.
right? How many times previous to this did you send Mr. Hill an email?
None. I had only just bought my computer about 2 weeks before it. Both his and his girlfriend's insistent that I needed to get on the internet and start sending funny email to everybody. When I got a joke, I was supposed to pass it along.
Miss Griffin, I don't buy it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Judy on the internet, judgejudy.com.
He received this thing, and you can understand what his concern might be, receiving it the way he did, being concerned that his whole computer would crash.
I didn't believe that he would believe that his whole computer would crash. I did not know him well enough to realize that he would actually think that I would do this without having known him well enough to be this person he's making me out to be.
Okay,
I was
Ms.
trying to be funny and pass along something funny.
Okay, Miss Griffin, so pay careful attention. You just said to me you didn't know him well enough to know what he would think. That's the way you started out.
Right.
Then you don't send somebody something if you don't know who they are and you don't know how they would react to a joke that might lead a person to believe that their computer is going to be, or whatever information that's in their computer is going to be destroyed, even for a minute. And if you do that, you're responsible for the consequences. If you stand outside a crowded movie theater and shout fire, and everybody comes running out of the movie theater and a couple of people get stomped in the process, you can't, if you're arrested, claim First Amendment privileges. You know, I have a right to scream fire. Well, you may have a right to scream fire, but all the people that were injured as a result of what you did, you are responsible for, even though it was a joke.
Well, this is true. I believe
Good.
you.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $641.33.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, the two Mrs. Hunters.
He married her 2 weeks after this incident.
She said that doesn't.
It has everything to do with it.
No, it has nothing to do with it.
Judge Judy Justice.
It was very convincing that this thing was taking the entire system down, and whether she's responsible, the people that wrote the program, anyone, this was a big scare for me. My entire life was basically on this computer.
I received this email from a very good friend of mine. I forwarded it along to several people. All of them called me up to tell me how cool they thought the program was. It runs approximately 1 minute.
I think it was a fair judgment, and at this point I would just prefer that she just leaves me alone.
Well, I guess it just doesn't pay to have a sense of humor.